North, where the Oswego State Lakers will host the Canton Kangaroos for a thrilling SUNY matchup. I'm Mike Neckers alongside Piper Kiernan. Piper, I don't know about you, but the energy these teams are feeling today is absolutely incredible. Yeah, Piper, an exciting game in some crazy weather. Now, both these teams had some important conference-implicating games this past weekend. What can you tell me about the Lakers' last game? Yeah, Piper, a dominant performance from the Lakers last week. It's absolutely something they should be proud of. But jumping over to the away team today, how did Canton match up in their last game? Yeah, Piper, a tough game for Canton, obviously. Wanted to come away with a win against a conference opponent, unable to do so. But Buffalo State's a really solid team who's also playing this afternoon against Morrisville. So a few other conference games going on tonight, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. One team looking to keep the good times going, another looking on the get up. We will get our answer coming up, but first we're going to throw it to a quick break. But don't go anywhere. Opening Faceoff is coming right up here on WTOP 10.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I had to eat a raw egg on Chris's dormitory floor.
I currently don't have any federal pending charges.
You know what you never did? You never walked to Walmart, Chris. That's my co-host. This is for making me eat roast Pop-Tarts. It's showtime, Chris. Come on.
I want to be on the air for that. I got a couple things to say.
No. Spin the wheel. Oh, you got censorship.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to...
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
If you like action, romance,
sister, if you're watching this,
and highbrow humor,
what surface is this?
Floor. Minch did not legitimately put his head in the toilet.
there's only one place to turn.
No!
Tune in to new episodes of
Oh!
only on WTOP.
Hello and welcome back into Laker Turf Stadium. In case you're just joining us, my name's Mike Neckers, coincided by Piper Kiernan and Piper. We've got a great matchup tonight between the Oswego State Lakers and the Canton Kangaroos. How are we feeling, Piper?
Pretty good. It did seem like during our warm-ups that Oswego was trying their hardest and really showing how good of a team they were. They were putting in their full effort for the games.
Yeah, Piper, and as we mentioned, two teams that have had very different starts to the season. Canton a little shaky. The Lakers doing really well off so far, but I want to ask you, what are some of your keys for the Canton Kangaroos to succeed today?
I definitely do think that they need to be crossing those turnovers very well. They do in a little bit of their games, but they definitely could be putting in a higher percentage on that. And then definitely giving Maddie Karen the ball. Maddie has scored 40 goals this season alone, and she actually she scored 40 goals this season alone, and she's been doing really good. She's one of the seniors on the team. And definitely the ground ball game. You know, Lacrosse ground ball wins games just like those people just like that.
Yeah, Lakers will start it off winning the first draw. Taking it down the left side is Noelle Smith. Smith sends it behind the goal, fakes it that way, goes back up top to Cassidy Croce. Croce over to Julia Quirk. The Lakers are going to move this one around nice and slow as it makes its way over to Alexis Hill. Hill looking to dodge here, unable to find anything, swings it out to Madison Davis. Davis on the near side of the field now. Puts it up top, finds Quirk once again. Quirk sends this one over to Zemanek. This one will go down low for the Lakers. Davis in front of net with a cut, a shot, save there, a huge save from Laura Philandis. Keeps it 0-0, but the Lakers are going to get that ground ball and stay with this one. Lakers still on the ball. On the right side now, going to send this one back to X. Madison Davis finds Smith right behind the net. Smith looks for a cutter, a chance, a shot, and this one goes in. A goal for the Lakers. That's Sophie Russian with the first one of the day. And Piper, a great goal from Russian. Calm, cool, and collected. She cuts into the crease. No one's marking her, and she just finishes it right past the goalie. And my apologies, it was not Laura Philandis in goal today. Olivia Scott got the start.
Cuts are going to matter with defense. You definitely have to be right on your cutter, because as soon as that hits, that 1 split second your cutter is open, they can get that goal and score so fast. They just need that one goal.
Yeah, and Sophie Russian, a really well-taken goal for her there. Just super well done. As we wait the next draw here, it's going to be Alexis Hill on it for the Lakers, and the senior captain, Lindsay Wonder, on it for the Canton Kangaroos. Wonder also having a phenomenal season, and the Kangaroos are trying to get one back here, Piper. So we await the whistle from the officials.
This draw is definitely going to matter for the Lakers.
And here it comes, up it goes, and right into the stick of Aaliyah White. Aaliyah White sends this one up to midfield, and a check to the head of Lindsay Wonder, who just won the draw. That's going to be a yellow card, Piper.
Yeah, checks to the head are definitely not regulated in these games. You can't do them. One of the worst checks to do. You definitely want to swing that stick away, not straight down.
So the Lakers will now find themselves a player down for the next 2 minutes as Alexis Hill makes her way to the box.
The Canton Roos really do good when they are up a man, so this definitely can help them out in the start of this game.
Yeah, and the Roos waste no time starting this attack coming down the center of the field, as that's Maddie Karen with 50 points on the season already, averaging 5 points recorded every single game this season. Just a dominant force to be reckoned with in the SUNY Conference. But here come the Roos. Up top, going to start this one slow. A dodge here from Sydney Dunn. Dunn not able to get there. She's going to swing it down low to Karen. Karen up top to Wonder. Wonder holding it, sends it back over to Dunn. And Ruse over to the left side now. They'll go behind X. Pass dropped, and that one's going to roll out. Lakers are going to take this one the other way. And some sloppy play here to start out for the Ruse, Piper.
Yeah, there was a girl open in the middle for a split second. If she just would have had her stick up, it definitely would have helped with a nice pass right in the middle.
Yeah, and Alana Yakovisi trying to clear this one now, being guarded very closely. This one goes down to the corner, incomplete, and Ruse are going to take this one right back the other way, wasting no time. Unable to get that pass off. It's going to be a loose ball. Lakers come up with it, make the easy pass, and are now trying to go up the right side. So with the ball is Aubriana Green. Green passes one, passes two, and looks like she's got space to work with up the near side of the field. Still carrying in. And she'll touch that one in and find Madison Davis. Davis with it in the near corner now. Just waiting for the Lakers to catch up and get set. She's going to swing that one up top to Russian. Russian over to Quirk. Quirk finds Kroos. Kroos sends this one up top to Costello. Costello goes to the right side, unable to get through though. Down to the corner for Davis. Davis still with it. This one goes up top to Julia Quirk. Quirk looks to cut, dodges past one, goes to Davis across the middle. Davis, a left-handed shot and a goal for Madison Davis, who has had another player who's had a phenomenal season, Piper. Was really heavy on the assists at the beginning of the year, but has kind of moved over to that goal-scoring spot now.
Yeah, she is really doing good. The Canton Roos kind of messed it up a little bit. They went to double-team the ball, and then one of the other girls dropped off and tripled it, leaving her wide open right in the middle. But good for her for seeing that opportunity and taking it.
Yeah, Piper, and this Lakers team has just been really, really strong all season long, getting a lot of different players incorporated, doing what they need to do to win. I mean, last game when they won, 20-3, they had 14 different players who recorded a goal. So just, they're really good at sharing the love out here. And if you take a look now, you'll see that goal one more time. Again, the pass across the middle right to Madison Davis, who wastes no time putting this one past the stick of Olivia Scott, making it a 2-0 lead for the Lakers as here's that next draw. Quirk sends this one to the far side of the field, and the Roos are going to pick this one up. Is coming down the field is Lindsay Wonder once again. Roos still with it. They'll touch this one in and slow things down, get the players they want on the offensive end of the field before they start their attack. The Roos send this one back up top. Here's Wonder with it. Wonder over to Dunn. Dunn back to Wonder. This one's going to go down low. Back up to Dunn. Screen set by Dupuis. No one's there. Great defense by the Lakers, really not letting any of these cutters get open across the net. And the Lakers playing very physically defensively here. This one's going to come up to Sienna Halicki. Halicki flips it back to Dunn. Dunn loses it, unable to handle a little flip pass there, and the Lakers are going to take this one the other way off of a check.
The Oswego Lakers are doing a great job. They are man defensing Maddie Karen, leaving her with no space to even get the ball.
Yeah, Piper, and you mentioned at the beginning, one of your keys for Canton was to use Maddie Karen. I'm sure the Lakers' game plan kind of coming into this game had to have something along the lines of shutting her down.
Yep, and they're doing a great job of that, not even giving her time.
Alexis Hill here now in the near corner of your screen. This one's going to come up top to Russia. Sends it over to Kroos. Kroos back to Quirk up top. Quirk looking to dodge here. Looks like she's going to take it down the left side, send it back behind the goal. Cutter's blocked up there. Great defense from the Roos. Madison Davis sends it up top to Russian. Russian flips it over to Quirk. Quirk in her dominant hand goes to her right side, spins back to the left, and a shot and a goal for Julia Quirk makes it 3-0 Oswego. Quirk, I mean, just fancy footwork in front of the net. Gets past like 3 defenders and puts it in the top corner.
Yeah, and that body movement of hers, she really moved her head, make sure she was not going to get hit by anybody's stick, which really helps you make the goal, because if the ref would have called it, she might have not made it in that free position shot if she would have got that opportunity.
So the Lakers up 3-0 now. They've already had a man down opportunity, which they had no trouble getting rid of, getting the ball out of their defensive zone. So a great job from the Lakers as we see a timeout here from the Roos. So 3-0, 10:20 remaining here in the first period. And Piper, I think now is probably a good time for me to throw out my keys for the Oswego State Lakers. What do you think?
Yeah.
So first thing I've got is going to be possessing the ball. The Lakers have done a phenomenal job so far in this first 4 minutes and 40 seconds of possessing the ball, not letting the Kangaroos really have too many offensive opportunities. My second one is let Mackenzie Wynn cook. Mackenzie Wynn has been phenomenal all season long. Only 8 goals on the season, but she has 28 assists, Piper. That's 36 total points on the season, and she has just been on a heater of a season so far. And last but not least, I mentioned a little earlier, share the love. The Lakers have done a phenomenal job of getting a lot of different players involved. Like I said, 14 different goal scorers in their last game, and that's not the first time they've done it this year. In all the games that we've seen where they've scored 20-plus goals, they're getting players involved. They're able to do that. And I think if they can do that again today, that they really can't take down almost any opponent.
I definitely do. You could tell that they're sharing the love on the field. Everyone is touching that ball. Everyone is getting a touch before it even goes in behind the net. They really want everyone's getting a chance to score.
Well, the Roos coming back out to the field now. The Lakers still in the huddle, as it looks like we're starting to get some flurries coming down from the sky. Who would have thought snow in April, Piper?
Definitely not me. Glad I'm not on that field right now.
This is upstate New York for you. A nice chilly afternoon in Oswego, New York, as here comes the fourth draw of the day. It's going to be once again Alexis Hill and Lindsey Wonder on this draw. Kangaroos still searching for their first goal, but the Lakers with 3 in under 5 minutes, so it'll be interesting to see how this draw goes. We've kind of seen an even mix of both teams winning draws. I want to say the Roos have won 2, Lakers have won 2, so it's been pretty 50-50, but the Lakers are going to come away with this one. Back in their own zone, though, as that's Catherine Nash with the ball. Sends it up the field to Kroos. Bounces off the stick of Kroos. She's going to keep this one in and come up the near side. Kroos still with it. Uncontested running towards goal. Someone's going to want to stop her, and they eventually will. Out to Davis. Davis sends it to X. Win with it. Sends this one back up. And Julia Quirk with it up top now. Over to Russian. Russian finds Hill. Hill back down to Davis. And the Lakers doing a really good job of just, like I mentioned, possessing the ball and really taking their time on these offensive possessions. They're not forcing any shots. They don't need to. There's no need to force the shot. You're up 3-0. There's plenty of time on your shot clock, so why not take your time?
Yeah, getting the ball to Cassidy Kroos would also be really good for the Lakers since Cassidy scored 18 goals this season so far.
Yeah, Cassidy Kroos, another player who's had a phenomenal season, and this one is going to roll behind the net, and I think we're going to have a shooting space call here, Piper.
I think so.
So Noelle Smith will be the shooter here for the Lakers. Defenders on either side of her. And Olivia Scott standing tall in net as we await this referee's whistle. Here it comes. A pass down from a cutter. Win to Kroos. Kroos with a chance. Triple team, and it's going to be another shooting space, plain and simple.
That cut in right from down below, that can be crucial to the game.
Yeah, and Kroos unable to get the shot off there, but she has a shooting space opportunity now instead. Kroos with it. Again, awaiting this whistle from our referees. Defenders on either side. Here she comes. A shot into the left side of the net, and she scores. Cassidy Kroos makes it 4-0 for the Lakers. 9:17 remaining on the clock. And you mentioned she's got 18 goals on the season. Well, let's make it 19, Piper.
Maybe she'll get her 20th today, too.
Well, with how these Lakers have been playing their past few games, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, just a dominant run for the Lakers. They have won their last 4, 12-11 against Brockport, 20-2 against SUNY Poly, 21-6 against Fredonia, and then most recently, like we mentioned earlier, 20-3 against the Morrisville Mustangs. So those last 2 games, their first 2 conference matchups, Piper. And how are they doing in the SUNYAC Conference so far this year?
I mean, they're doing pretty good. They're definitely winning their games, and they are seeing it themselves. They're putting their full force out there. You can definitely tell that they really do want to make it into the SUNYACs and get that championship this year.
Absolutely, Piper, but this one's going to be a loose ball. Not sure who's going to come up with it yet. Alexis Hill puts that into the Lakers' offensive zone, so a little help for them there. But the Roos are going to come out with this one, and it looks like we've got an illegal check, so this one's going to stay with the Roos as they look to clear this ball. Coming up the field here is Sydney Dunn. Dunn passed about 3 or 4 defenders on that run across the middle and took it to the far side. Dunn still with it, finally loses it, double teamed by the Lakers, picks it back up, and now the Lakers may be in a bit of trouble here. Alexis Hill does well to recover, though. Dunn still with the ball here. Sends it over to the right side for Karen. Karen sends it down low to X. Back up to Karen. And the Roos still with it as they find Lindsey Wonder Swings that one over to Ava Dupuis. Back to Wonder. Wonder guarded closely by Sophie Russian. This one goes to X. Morgan Montgomery up top. A chance, a shot, and saved by Alana Yakovisi. Her first real test of the afternoon, but a great save from Yakovisi to keep it 4-0, Piper.
Yeah, she's definitely doing a great job, and she just found an amazing open player right below.
Yeah, and the Lakers now coming up the near side as with the ball is Aubriana Green. Green sends this one back to Russian. Russian unable to handle it. Pass a little far behind her, but she'll get the ground ball. Had to clear Catherine Nash out of the way on that one, and the Lakers now coming up the far side of the field as that's Julia Quirk with it. Uncontested, plenty of space to work with. She finds Smith, sends it down to Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn's going to take this one to X and look for another assist to add to her 28 already this season. Russian with it. Over to Quirk. Quirk finds Kroos. Kroos over to Hill. Hill finds Davis at X. Davis still with it, trying to pull her defender out and find a cutter. Unable to do so, but finds Wynn across the back of the net. Wynn sends it to Quirk. Quirk with a little trickery here from the Lakers. A fake pass there. Passes it to the second player. And as you take a look here now, we can see that save from Alana Yakovisi one more time. I mean, a very good shot here from Canton, but just unable to get it past Yakovisi, who's had a pretty decent season so far. And this clear is going to go all the way up to that first white line as the Roos are going to take this one across midfield. Running with the ball here is Aaliyah White. Swings it over to the far side. This one's picked up by Olivia McCormick. McCormick up top, a cutter, a shot, and a goal for the Kangaroos. That's Maddie Karen. Make it 41 goals on the season. I mean, you can't teach this stuff, Piper. This is just pure raw talent on the field. Maddie Karen having a dominant season, the top point scorer in the SUNY Conference right now.
Yeah, she definitely does have that raw talent. She definitely brings it all to the team. But you could tell she is a team player. She's getting out of the way for her teammates, giving them an opportunity too. But when she has that opportunity, she is taking it and she is not missing.
And I mean, a great goal from Karen as well. She wasn't super close to the goal, had to squeeze it through two defenders and just did it effortlessly. Just a really solid lacrosse player here, and it's what you love to see if you're a fan of this game.
Yep, that's the talent. That's all the practice this girl has gone through.
Well, now 4-1, still in favor of Oswego with 6:39 left here. Here's that goal one more time for you. You see Karen, a little sidearm shot, kind of rips it down. A nice low shot. Yakovisi unable to get there. So like I said, 4-1, 6:39 remaining. As again, it's Alexis Hill versus Lindsay Wonder on this draw. Hill and Wonder have been battling all day on the draw so far, and it's been a pretty even split, but this one's going to go back towards Canton's defensive end. Lakers are going to come up with this, as that's Julia Quirk who's going to start this offensive possession for the Lakers, where Quirk swings it up to Davis, and Davis is going to bring this one down to X. Finds Wynn right behind the net, and the Lakers, again, just trying to settle in, slow things down, and move the ball around a little bit, force a mistake from this Canton defense. Hill sends it to Davis. Davis across the back to Wynn. A cutter here for the Lakers. Nothing's there, but it clears up some space for Wynn. And dodging now is Sophie Russian. Russian tries to get past one, unable to, a screen set, but not quite good enough. A dodge here across the middle, a chance for a shot, but not able to be caught by the Lakers. A great job there by Canton jamming up the middle there, Piper.
Yeah, definitely. That was a whole lot of chaos going on in the middle, but it definitely did help with the ball on the ground. Gave Canton a shot to bring it back, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah, Lakers do get the ground ball and will try again, but only 35 seconds left on this shot clock. Now they'll have to develop a little quicker than they're normally accustomed to. But here's a chance, a shot. Oh, blocked out of the way is Cassidy Kroos. We've got a stoppage of play here, Piper.
Yeah, it did look like she got hit just a little bit by the girl's stick. Free position shot?
Looks like it'll be a free position shot from a dangerous area here, Piper. Cassidy Kroos already scored once today, looking for her 20th goal of the season here. Kroos waiting for the whistle. There it is. She goes at the goal, trips a little bit, slips, and saved is that one by Olivia Scott. So no number 20 for Kroos quite yet, but intercepted by Julia Quirk almost immediately on the clear. So the Lakers, not only are they doing a good job offensively, but they're doing a good job of keeping the pressure on Canton at all times and really not letting them out of their zone. Hill loses that one. Referees say the check is just a little bit too hard, as that call is going to be on Molly Sweeney, the sophomore. So another free position shot here for the Lakers. And this time it's Alexis Hill, the Lakers' top goal scorer. Hill waiting for this whistle. There it is. She goes at the net. And again, she loses it. The Lakers having a really hard time holding on to the ball in these tight, tough pressure situations, Piper.
Yeah, let's see with the goalie. She definitely needs to keep it in her stick just a little bit longer. Girls can get open faster for her. Doesn't seem like it's working. And
the Roos with it now, trying to clear, but again, the Lakers just giving some extremely heavy pressure here. As here's Cassidy Croce, who gets the ground ball. Croce still with it, coming up the far side of the field. And we've got a stoppage, a timeout called this time by the Oswego State Lakers. So 4:39 left here, 4-1 in favor of Oswego. And I think now would be a great time here, Piper, to talk a little about the coaching staffs for these two teams. So I'm going to start us off and tell us a little bit about Adam Todd. Adam Todd is the Canton head coach. It is his 10th year as their head coach, and he has just been a phenomenal coach. He's really done a great job of rebuilding this program for Canton. They started from almost nothing, and to see how far they've grown, to see them at 5-5 this early on in the season is very impressive. So hats off to Adam Todd, who's done a phenomenal job. Can you tell me a little bit about Britt Howard for the Oswego State Lakers?
Britt, she's been here. This is her 9th season with the Lakers so far, and with her SUNY, she was 37-22, which is a pretty good score for you being here for 9 years, and 3-6 in the postseason game, which is still, again, amazing, phenomenal. She's really bringing it in.
Yeah, Piper, and I don't want to announcers jinx anything, but I truly believe this is one of the best Oswego State women's lacrosse teams that this school and this town has seen in a very long time. I mean, you see them out there, they're so together, they're so cohesive, they're such a cohesive unit, and they've done a phenomenal job so far this season. They've had a really great start, of course, 6-2, nothing to complain about, but also undefeated in conference with those 2 wins against Fredonia State and Morrisville, 2 dominant wins, 21-6 and 20-3. So the Lakers really are on track for a great season. Of course, they do still have some tough opponents coming up, teams like Cortland and New Paltz that they will have to face off against.
Yeah, those are definitely going to be some tough games, but the energy that they're going to bring after, especially this game, you can see it might work out.
Well, the Lakers and Kangaroos back on the field now, as it looks like Cassidy Croce is going to start with the ball for the Lakers. Croce is going to send this one over to Russian, and they'll touch this one in, no problem. Russian gets it down to Hill. Hill with the ball, sends it down to Davis. Davis finds Wynn behind the net. Wynn still with it, carrying, sends it all the way up to Croce, skips a pass there as it gets back up to Quirk up top. Quirk over to Russian. Russian finds Hill, down to Davis, back to Wynn once again. Again, that pass skip. Noelle Smith getting left out here in this little passing circle we're seeing on the field. But here's Julia Quirk, dodges past 1, past 2, past a third, and that's going to be another free position shot, I believe, Piper.
Yeah, that girl went straight into shooting space. She kind of just needed to give that an extra step before she went right there, just right in front of the goal and Quirk herself.
And Julia Quirk is not who you want to face off against on a free position shot. I can tell you that much, Piper. She's, again, had a dominant season, but last season she was the Lakers' top scorer as well. So she's a really solid player, a phenomenal shooter, and let's see what she can do here. And what do you say, Piper? Make it 5-1. Julia Quirk into the top left corner, right past the stick of Olivia Scott. No trouble at all.
Yeah, Julia Quirk really knows how to put it behind the net. That is, I think, her second goal for this game.
Yeah, second goal of the afternoon, and let's take one more look at it, Piper. I mean, you can see, obviously, the free position shot makes it pretty easy to get a shot off on net, but still a lot of work to do to get past a very strong goalie, Olivia Scott, who has a wonderful save percentage on the season so far. That save percentage, of course, being .481%, so 74 saves and 80 goals allowed on the season. So Scott with a great start to the season, a much higher save percentage than Alana Yakovisi, but Yakovisi also hasn't been tested anywhere near as much as Olivia Scott has this season.
Yeah, 100%. Also, with Canton goalies, both of them really do get a try in the net for their games to get a pretty even time.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that when we were doing our prep for today's game. Both goalies, not exactly the same, but they've played a pretty decent amount, both of them, in these games. And for the Lakers, Yakovisi really is that number one. And Mackenzie Perry, of course, is down there on the sideline, but she does not come in too often. Of course, the Lakers getting her in a little more with all these huge wins they're getting. They're able to bring in whoever they want, really. But Mackenzie Perry really hasn't seen the field too much this season. The Lakers are going to bring this one back to X for Wynn. Wynn finds Smith. Smith still with it, sends it back to Wynn. Wynn across to Davis. Cutter from Alexis Hill. Here it is, a chance. And another goal for the Lakers. That's Alexis Hill, her second of the day. My apologies, her first of the day. Missed that shooting space earlier. Got my brain a little mixed up there. But Alexis Hill makes it 6-1 Oswego with 3:36 here left in the first period. Let's check that replay. I mean, Alexis Hill, just out of nowhere on that cut, flies past her defender and finds the back of the net.
Yeah, these cuts are definitely going to be good for them. Cutting is getting them these goals. Cuts are where they get them. And just Canton, they're just going to have to be closer and be better, tighter with defending.
Yeah, defensively, Canton has not done a bad job at all. There have been times where they've looked really good out there. They've done a great job, tightening up that middle and not letting the Lakers through. But then at other times, like we just saw, they're just letting cutters kind of walk through the middle and get wide open in front of net.
They definitely just need to be faster when they're closer to the 8.
Well, the Lakers and the Roos on the draw here once again. As it's the same two ladies we've seen all afternoon, Lindsay Wonder and Alexis Hill facing off. This one goes in favor of the Roos to start off, but looks like Lakers are going to come away with this ground ball, as that's going to be Mackenzie Wynn who flips it to Alexis Hill. Hill pinned up against the sideline, gets the pass off, and the Lakers are going to take this one down the other way here now. Coming down the side for the Lakers, here's Madison Davis with it. Davis sends it up top to Kroos. Kroos finds Hill. Hill back to Kroos. Kroos sends it over. This one's going to go down to Noelle Smith, who finds Mackenzie Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn looking to dodge, unable to get there. Cutter's coming across, but not open in the middle. So this one will go back to Cassidy Kroos once again. Kroos looking to dodge, unable to get there, but a pass to Alexis Hill is open. Hill, with that dominant left hand, shoots, and that one goes just wide. Great pressure there from the Kangaroos, as well as Olivia Scott to really just come out of her crease and close off an angle. But a chance here for the Lakers, batted down by Olivia Scott, but the Lakers are going to hold possession here. Davis with the ball, down to Wynn, 30 on the shot clock. Cutter, chance for the Lakers, shoots. Nope, no shot comes off of that one, but here we go again, a chance, and the Lakers just pestering Canton right now. I mean, giving them no room to breathe, ripping shots left and right as Julia Quirk makes a crazy little pass. Here's a chance. That one again goes wide, but Madison Davis gets the ground ball. The Lakers, another chance, and finally they find it, as that one's going to be Addison Costello who scores her first of the afternoon. That makes it 7-1 Oswego, and what a sequence that was, Piper.
It definitely was a sequence, and I must say something that really helped them out was always having that chase and getting the ball back at the end of the field. Them keeping a girl back there to have and be ready for that chase is what really saved them there, because if a Canton girl got that, they would have been right back away.
Yeah, and the Kangaroos struggling here really defensively, but also struggling to find offensive possessions here so far early in this game. The Lakers using that dominant offense, that high pressure that they've used all season long to their advantage against the Kangaroos. So with 2:03 left, it'll be interesting to see how these teams can adjust. Again, it's going to be Hill facing off against Wonder on the draw. We've seen it all afternoon. I assume we'll see it for the rest of the afternoon. And the official placing the ball now as we await the whistle to start things back up. This one goes up in the air and towards the Lakers' offensive end. Picked up by Madison Davis, but say she stepped over the line a little too early, so it's going to be a Canton ball here. Coming up the field for Canton's Aaliyah White. Aaliyah White spins back around, swings it over to her defender, Scarlett DeToro. DeToro with it, sends it up to the right side for Halicki. Halicki carrying down the right side of the field. Finds Sydney Dunn. Sydney Dunn's going to send this one over to Maddie Karen. Karen with it again. Back up top, that one goes to Wonder, who finds Dunn. Back to Wonder. To Karen. Karen defended closely by Alexis Hill. I think that's a really good matchup that we're going to see out here today. Before the Roos, it's Morgan Montgomery behind X. This one comes up. Halicki dodging, unable to get past the first defender. Halicki still with it. Defended closely by Abby Albro. And I think the Lakers are doing a really good job of not pressuring that X position here, Piper. I mean, there's no need to. It's not a dangerous scoring position, so they're just kind of leaving it be.
Yeah, they definitely are, and they stopped playing man defense on Maddie Karen.
Yeah, the Lakers switching to more of a zone scenario here defensively, and it seems to be working pretty well as the Kangaroos, with 10 seconds on the shot clock, are yet to even take a shot. Roos looking to force this one in the middle, running out of time. That one's going to bounce out, and a chance now for the Roos. This one's going to be a free position shot for the Roos, I believe, here, Piper.
Yeah, I think so too.
So now a chance for the Roos to make it 7-2. 26 seconds left on the game clock here for the first quarter. 0 seconds on the shot clock, so this will be the last shot of this possession. So we await the whistle. With the ball is Ava Dupuis. And looks like referees maybe are a little confused out here on the field. Defending her on either side is Sophie Russian and Alexis Hill. So pressure coming from both sides. Two phenomenal Oswego players. As we're still waiting for this whistle. Referees are just kind of standing around, but here we go. Players now ready to go. And here's Dupuis, a shot, and that one goes wide. It's going to be no good. And because of that shot clock running out, I believe it's going to be an Oswego ball here. Not something you see too often, that shot clock running out, but the Lakers are going to try and clear this one out. As coming up the right side of the field now is Aubriana Green. Green still with it. Green gets past one defender, makes it past the second, goes through a third, and that will do it for the first period of play. The Oswego State Lakers ahead by a score of 7-1. So Piper, let's walk the fans through what we've seen so far in this first period. What do you think the Lakers are doing right? What do you think the Roos are doing wrong that led to this score here?
I think that the Lakers are playing some really good defense, top-notch defense. They are making it so you really can't get a shot off in the middle. There's always an Oswego player in front of the shooter or in front of everybody. And the Roos, they are not winning the ground ball game. And it seems like kind of their speed, like the Lakers are being faster than the Roos, and you can kind of tell when they transition the ball up that the Roos are falling behind a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lakers, I think, have done a phenomenal job both offensively and defensively, as you mentioned. It seems like the draw battle is the only thing about this game so far that's really been kind of even. And even then, the Lakers are doing a great job of picking up those loose balls, those 50-50 opportunities in the middle of the field. So I think for both teams it's been a great start, but we'll have to wait and see how things go here in the second period. And the Lakers, of course, leading 7-1, like I mentioned. But let's talk about our goal scorers here, Piper. Who has found the back of the net for each team so far?
Maddie Karen is the only person to find the back of the net for the Oswego. The Roos.
Caught yourself.
But Julia Quirk is our only person to score multiple goals. 2 goals. Oh, I'm actually a liar. 2 goals for the Oswego Lakers, as well as Addison Costello. And then we have Cassidy Croce as one of our goal leaders.
Yeah, and the Lakers have just had a phenomenal performance so far in this first period. I know it seems like I'm saying this every week, Piper. The Lakers are just dominating their opponents constantly. I mean, we've seen it in their last 3 games, which they've scored 20 goals in their last 3 games, and even the game before that, a tight win, but a win against Brockport, 12-11. So just a phenomenal season for the Lakers so far. But let's talk a little bit about around the SUNY, because the Lakers are not the only team playing. So some other games we've got going on are the Potsdam Bears playing at New Paltz.
They're tied 5-5.
5-5. We've got the Battle of the Red Dragons. Cortland taking on Oneonta down in Oneonta. How's that game going, Piper?
Cortland is winning 10-3, crushing Oneonta right now. They're in their second quarter so far.
Yep, and then Morrisville's taking on Buff State as well. How's that one going?
No score yet. Seems like they just started their first. It's actually starting at 4:30, so they got a minute till game time.
All right, and last but not least, this game will not start until a little later, but Fredonia is taking on Hilbert College, so that is the only out-of-conference matchup we see here, but still a very important game.
It definitely is important. It'll help both teams kind of getting those aspects of what they need to figure out and kind of fix for their own conference games.
Absolutely, as we see the Lakers and the Kangaroos both taking the field once again. And the Lakers putting Julia Quirk on the draw here. So a new face. It's no longer Alexis Hill. Quirk just as good on the draw as we've seen Hill be this afternoon so far. And it looks like the rain has stopped for the time being, but I'm sure still slippery conditions out there on the field. All of our cameramen today are bundled up with trash bags over their cameras to keep them dry. as we await the clock to reset to that 15-minute period so we can get things going here, Piper.
Yeah, and I must say, with the draw, we see number 12, Lindsay Wonder. As soon as she takes the draw, she kind of like takes a step back. You kind of, for her, I feel like for the Roos to win more draws, she needs to be that first step, and she needs to really attack the draw once they start.
So attack the draw. That's what we're getting out of this one here, Piper. I'm sure they've made some adjustments on the bench for Canton as well as Oswego. What do you think the Roos are going to do here in the second half to sort of speed things up in their play?
Speed things up. You kind of see they kind of take things a little bit slower, which it can be helpful in certain games. But right now, being down 7-1, you really want to fasten it up because, yeah, you can score 7 goals in one quarter, but it's kind of a little bit harder for the Roos now that they're already down. They kind of have to put a positive mindset on and kind of really trying to fix things and make things faster pace.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be an easy climb back up to an even score for the Kangaroos, but never say never. They still have plenty of time to try and do it. So the Lakers and the Roos lining up for the draw here. Quirk and Wonder. This one, Wonder picks it up and again kind of slows down after the draw. Lakers are going to get the ground ball here, and as you'll see now, the Lakers are attacking on the left side. Of course, we flip sides at every single quarter. So here's Kroos, who sends this one over to Russian. Russian to Smith. Smith finds Davis at X. Davis with a little bit of space sends it over to Wynn. Wynn looks for a cutter, flips it all the way up to Quirk. Quirk dodging through 3 defenders into the bottom corner. 8-1 Oswego. And Piper, we talked about speed, and I think you just saw it right then and there.
Yeah, that was some incredible speed. Passing through 3 defenders like it was nothing. Kind of left them straight in the dust. The defenders really had their feet kind of planted onto the ground when they got to always be moving and keep on going.
Yeah, Piper, and I believe that completes Julia Quirk's hat trick on the afternoon.
Yeah, that is her.
This early in the game, not even halftime, and already 3 goals for Julia Quirk. So the Lakers doing a phenomenal job. As here's that goal one more time. I mean, just flies through the defense and puts it into that bottom corner. No pressure can stop Julia Quirk as she lines up to take the very next draw. Again, facing off with Lindsay Wonder. This one goes up. This one's a shorter draw, and it looks like the Roos have the speed advantage getting to it, but unable to pick up that first ground ball. Maddie Karen gets the second one and just flies right past Mackenzie Wynn. But the Roos with a wayward pass. That one's way too high for Lindsay Wonder to pick up, so the Lakers are going to scoop up the ground ball and take this one the other way, as that's Catherine Nash with it, carrying all the way down the field. Catherine Nash, the defender, not someone we see up in that part of the field too often, but when you're a defender, you take the chances you get, right, Piper?
Yeah, and she was so speedy, running straight down the field.
Yeah, and Kroos with this one now. It's going to come up to Costello. Quirk sends it over to Russian. And the Lakers just taking their time as we've got a stoppage. Not sure exactly what's going on over here, but it looks like the official is walking over towards the Canton bench. And a green card shown here, not to the Canton bench, but to Jaden Awan. Not sure exactly what was said on the field here, Piper, but I would have to assume it's something that was said on the field.
Yeah, I'm going to assume the same thing since she's sitting down as soon as she got out.
And Awan does not look too happy about that call. Looks pretty frustrated. Of course, I don't necessarily blame her. Being down 8-1 is never something that you want to endure, but this is college lacrosse, and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
And shooting space looks like a free position shot.
Yeah, this one's going to be Noelle Smith with the chance here. Smith, another player who's had a great start to her season. She lines up with Olivia Scott here. Smith just waiting. Here's the whistle, and she elects to pass this one out to Julia Quirk. The Lakers look to be slowing things down just a little bit, taking their time on these offensive possessions. Here's Davis with it. That one goes up top to Russian, over to Quirk. Quirk, and another shooting space call will give the Lakers another free position shot. This time it's going to be Julia Quirk with it, looking for her 4th goal of the afternoon. Quirk lining up against Scott. There's the whistle. And Quirk shoots right into the stick of Olivia Scott. A great job done there to smother that ball. Just absolutely no chance she's letting that one past her.
And I do like how the goalie is taking her time now and did step out of net. I feel like that is very crucial. It can be very helpful towards the Roos gameplay.
Yeah, and the Lakers not really pressuring her nearly as heavily as they were in that first quarter. I wonder if maybe there's some fatigue going on or just a change of strategies here. But it's going to give the Roos a chance to clear this ball. Of course, quadruple teamed at the midfield here. That's Molly Sweeney, who's just trying to get by and find a teammate. Still with the ball is Sweeney. Sweeney gets it all the way down and is finally tripped up. That's going to be a possession for the Roos at the very least. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a card here, but we'll have to wait and see, and it doesn't look like we will. So the Lakers maybe get away with one there just a little bit. But the Kangaroos now with an offensive possession as Maddie Karen wastes no time starting this one back up. Karen and Wonder go back and forth up top. The Roos are going to send this one down low. Roos still with it. Look for a cutter, but just not there as that's intercepted by Addison Costello, who's again going to take it the other way. Sends it up the field to Noelle Smith. Smith running up the far side of that field. Smith sends this one over to Russian. Russian with some space to work with a defender on her back, but she gets the pass over to Cassidy Croce. And this one to a cutter across the middle. That's Alexis Hill. Alexis Hill goes just wide, and the Kangaroos with the backup. So this is going to be another Canton ball as they try to clear this one.
I will say that was a great eye and such a great pass, just missing the goal just by a little bit.
Yeah, Alexis Hill, a beautifully taken cut, but just unable to find the back of the net on that one. So the Lakers will be back on the defensive end as the Kangaroos are taking their time clearing, and again we're seeing Olivia Scott sort of come out of the goal and slow down this clear. Pass to Scarlett DeToro. She's unable to handle it. We've got a push in the back, so ball's going to stay with Canton as they'll get another shot here for this clear. And again, the same exact call. Cassidy Croce riding very hard, not letting DeToro have any breathing room, but DeToro up against the sideline now looking to find someone to pass the ball to. DeToro chucks this one up nice and high. No one there for except for Sophie Russian, who's going to take this the other way for the Oswego State Lakers. Russian up the middle, players on either side, but she elects to slow this one down as she finds Cassidy Croce awaiting at the black line.
That's exactly why chasing the ball in the midfield is so important, because they just had a whole turnover because of it.
Yeah, the Lakers, are doing a phenomenal job of just eating up any sort of loose balls, any poor passes. They're really taking advantage of things that Canton's been struggling with here. And I think that's kind of been the key to their success, not just today, but all season long, taking advantage of the little things, forcing mistakes, and just succeeding off of it. So the Lakers still with possession here, 50 on the shot clock. This pass goes to Russian. Russian triple teamed in front of net. And I think we've got another free position shot, another shooting space call here, Piper. So the Lakers with another opportunity for a goal.
These free position shots are definitely helping them out, and Canton has to kind of stop getting in shooting speed.
Yes, that's Russian right through the 5-hole, makes it 9-1, right between the legs of Olivia Scott. Elects for the bounce shot on a slippery day. Not much you can do about it as a goaltender.
Yeah, you definitely can. Seeing that ball coming, especially on a slippery day with the bounce shot, is going to be hard.
Yep, and we've got a little collection of snow on the field as well. Again, like we mentioned earlier, Piper, not what we're looking for in April. We want the spring. We want this warm weather. They say April showers bring May flowers, but I don't think they were talking about snow. I think they were talking about rain here, Piper.
We did have hail.
A little hail, too. A little bit of everything. Why not? And you see that replay that we just showed you, that goal one more time, just right through the 5-hole of Olivia Scott. But the Lakers send up Julia Quirk once again to draw off against Lindsay Wonder. 9-1 with 10:14 left here in the second period. And Piper, remember, in D3 college lacrosse, once one team has a lead by 10 or more goals, the clock starts running, and it does not stop unless there is a timeout or an injury. So if the Lakers keep this up, we might get out of here a little sooner than we expected. But, of course, still plenty of game left, as this draw is going to be won here by Sophie Russian. Russian's going to send this one down to Smith. Smith still with it. Up top to Croce, who finds Russian once again. Russian over to Quirk. Quirk with it. Down to Hill. Hill sends this one all the way across the back to Wynn, who finds Smith on the corner. Smith looking to dodge here. Slowed down by Scarlett DeToro, and here's Julia Quirk once again. Over to Croce. Croce a chance. Double team. Doesn't matter. A shot. We've got a flag coming out here, and I think that's going to be yet another free position shot for the Lakers.
Yeah, they're kind of playing a bit of an aggressive defense, which is understandable from being 8 down. It's going to be a little bit harder to keep your mindset heavy, but you got to be a little bit more safe about it.
Yeah, and here's that foul we're showing you, but here's the shot, a chance for Kroos, and that one somehow goes in. Double-teamed, a stick in front of her shot, but it doesn't even matter. Kroos just flips it right past Olivia Scott, and the Lakers just performing so well out here on the field today, Piper. And
that is Kroos' second goal of the game, which is pretty exciting and nice for her. But I will say that they're kind of losing it, the ruse by having the loss on the draws this much. Might be better for them to switch out their draw person.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a terrible idea, Piper, but unfortunately that is not our decision up here in the press box. That is the coach's decision. Here's that goal once again. You'll see not a very powerful shot, but sometimes all you need is a little push to get the job done. So that one's going to go into the back of the net past Olivia Scott, and the Lakers are now up 10-1 with 9:32 left here in the second quarter. And again, on the draw, it's Julia Quirk against Lindsay Wonder. Wonder's been taking every draw here for Canton this afternoon. And to no avail, she hasn't succeeded too many times, especially not against Julia Quirk. Had a little bit of success against Alexis Hill, but once the Lakers brought in Quirk, it's been all green and gold here at Laker Turf Stadium as Alexis Hill swings this one over. With the ball now is Addison Costello. Costello down low to Davis. Across to Mackenzie Wynn at X. Finds Noelle Smith. Smith sends this one up top for Ashley Casserly. Lakers still with it. Really just spinning this ball around, trying to force mistakes from this Canton defense. As here's a cutter, a chance. That one just a little too far ahead of Noelle Smith, but the Lakers are going to pick up the ground ball almost immediately. And another chance here for the Lakers as Julia Quirk has the ball up top. Quirk dodges to her left. Flips this one to Casserly. Casserly not there, but she's got plenty of time to go pick up the ground ball. And Canton not playing very aggressively defensively right now on those outer areas. Of course, got to be careful. Lakers already have 10 goals on you, but a huge interception there from Scarlett DeToro. Of course, as I say that, and not the Lakers, my apologies. The Kangaroos look to clear this one as Olivia Scott has the ball. Drops it down for Molly Sweeney in the crease. Sweeney using her speed, trying to come up the right side. Sweeney goes across the middle. Finds DeToro. DeToro with it, sends this one up to Halicki. Halicki with it now. Over to Karen. Karen sends that one to Wonder. Wonder still with it, sends that one to Dunn. Dunn over to Halicki. Halicki over to Karen. And the Kangaroos just passing this one around. A chance for a shot. It's going to come back up to Halicki. Karen with it once again. This one goes down low to Ava Dupuis. And with it now is Dunn. Dunn still kind of just holding on to the ball. 25 seconds left on this shot clock here for the Kangaroos. Spins to the right side. Gets stepped to by the second defender. And a cutter here. That's Karen. Doesn't catch it, but a ground ball, a shot, and that one goes in. Looks like it bounced off the corner of the net and rolled right back out of the goal. But Maddie Karen, her second goal of the afternoon. And Piper, you mentioned it earlier, they need to feed her the ball if they want a chance in this game. And so far, they've done it every opportunity they've got.
Yes, feeding her the ball is definitely one of the main objects of this game, getting that score up. They don't seem to be playing a lot on their offensive end, which I think once they start doing that, they can definitely get the score up just a tad more.
Yeah, so now 10-2, an 8-point deficit for the Kangaroos. And here's that goal again. Karen just puts it into that corner, right past Yakovisi. A good shot, good attempt from Yakovisi to make the save, but unable to get there. So now 10-2, 7:12 remaining here in the second period of play. And the Kangaroos are going to stick with Lindsay Wonder. Lakers sticking with Julia Quirk as well. And my apologies, they're not. They're putting Maddie Karen on the draw here now. So Maddie Karen, the goal scorer, Piper, I guess you called it. The Lakers and the Roos. 10-2, 7:12 left as here comes the draw. Lakers and Kangaroos circling around the draw like sharks. This one goes towards that Lakers defensive end, but picked up pretty easily by Sophie Russian. Russian still with it.
Russian was definitely a key player on the draw circle this game with picking up all these ground balls.
Absolutely. Russian has done a great job of battling for those loose balls, battling for those 50-50s. As here comes Julia Quirk. A little tumble taken there from Catherine Nash. Hopefully she's okay. She's able to get right back up. But Julia Quirk's going to touch this one in for the Lakers. So they're going to once again slow things down, put together an offensive possession here. And this snow and rain, I think, is starting to get to some of these players. Of course, as I mentioned, we just saw Catherine Nash slip and fall. But also, when we saw Julia Quirk running on the field here, you could kind of see the snow getting flown up in the air behind her as she was running. So just something to be wary about out here on the field.
Yeah, you could see it piling up in the middle, that they were kicking the snow kind of a little bit off the draw circle.
And the Lakers still with the ball here. They have the backup on that shot, so still an opportunity for them here to try and get an 11th goal. As here's Mackenzie Wynn on it. This one comes up top to Noelle Smith. Noelle Smith with 2 screens in front of her. Sends this one out to Hill. Hill dodges to her dominant left hand. A shot, and that one is blocked by the defense. Doesn't even get to the stick of Olivia Scott. And they've done a great job here so far kind of shutting down Alexis Hill, but it opens things up for everyone else as Hill loses it once again. And we've got a whistle here, unsure exactly what, but I think it's going to be another free position shot here, Piper. This one from pretty deep out, though, for the Lakers. Yeah, and that one's just going to get sent out to the corner. Julia Quirk with it. Quirk finds Russian. This one goes over to Casserly. Casserly down low to Win. Smith dodging across net, but that one's batted down by Olivia Scott. Really well done by the senior goaltender to not let those passes from behind the net get in front of her.
Yeah, that was really good, and that was just some pure skill and talent right there, being able to reach out and grab it right away.
Yeah, so a great stop there from Scott, and the Roos now looking to take this the other way. Double teamed right there. No calls, so the Lakers are going to pick up this ground ball and take it back into the offensive zone. 90 seconds on this shot clock, just under 5 minutes remaining in the first half for Oswego State. As Mackenzie Wynn sends this to Noelle Smith. Smith looks for Casserly. Casserly unable to catch this one, and a collision out there on the field. Both players get right back up on their feet. Great to see that. Some troopers out here on the field today, but this one's going to go in the way of the Canton Kangaroos as they look to clear this one. Coming up the field with it now is Ava DeP. Sienna Halicki with it. Sends it down to the corner. This one's going to come back up top to Maddie Karen. Over to Sydney Dunn. Sydney Dunn with it still. Sends it to Halicki once again. Halicki sends this one down low. Back up to Halicki. Still with it is the Kangaroos. Just kind of moving the ball around nice and slowly, but not really making any sort of attempts at goal yet here in this possession. And behind the goal now, the Kangaroos trying to look for something as this one comes over to Lindsay Wonder. Wonder sends it up top. Finds Halicki again. Halicki maybe looking to dodge here. Coming down the right side, a chance for Halicki and tripped up. That's going to be a shooting space call and a free position shot for the Canton Kangaroos. So a chance for a third goal for the Kangaroos, and this time it's going to be Halicki. So maybe someone else gets on the score sheet here today, Piper, for the Kangaroos.
That would be nice for them. They need to get these goals up just a little bit more. Maybe sharing the love for the Kangaroos would help too.
Yeah, and that one just a little too far out for comfort to try and take that shot for Halicki, so they're going to elect to slow it down and restart from up top. With the ball now is Dunn. Dunn dodges, loses it. Great defense from Julia Quirk, but a push in the back is going to be a little too much. So another opportunity here for the Roos, but again, from that far line, so I don't think a shot's really going to be the most plausible option here. And it looks like they might go for it anyways. That one goes wide and intercepted there by Alexis Hill. So this one's going to come the other way, as with the ball now is Addison Costello flying down the wing here. Pass one, gets the pass off. Noelle Smith somehow comes away with that catch. Smith loses it on the ground afterwards, and Lakers are going to maintain possession here after a call against the Roos. So down in the corner with it now is Mackenzie Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn sends this one up to Noelle Smith. Smith finds Kroos. Kroos still with it. Back down to Smith, who finds Wynn again behind the goal. Over to Davis. Davis kind of holding, waiting for a cutter. There's the cutter, there's the shot, and there's the goal, Piper. Alexis Hill just perfectly executed. That's probably the second goal we've seen from her, probably the fourth or fifth goal we've seen that's been that same exact scenario. Just a cutter across the middle, pass comes in from X, and the Lakers find the back of the net off of it.
The cut is definitely one of the Oswego Lakers' favorite moves to do, and leaving them open, even just for a split second, it really can be your biggest default of the game. And it seems like the Kangaroos just need to be a little bit tighter on their defense and really making sure that they have their cutter.
Yeah, Piper, I completely agree with you. I think the Lakers have done a phenomenal job offensively, and I think for the Kangaroos, it's been a struggle, as you see here. I mean, just the cut right across the middle. There's no trouble at all getting the pass off, and the shot's even easier. I mean, you're one-on-one with the goalie. Of course, never a guarantee you're going to score that goal, but you've got a pretty high chance there.
You definitely have a high chance, especially when your defender is a little bit behind you.
Yeah, plenty of space to work with for the Lakers so far as they lead 11-2 with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. The first half of action at Laker Turf Stadium, as again it's Julia Quirk and Maddie Karen on the draw. This one goes up, and it looks like, again, it's going to be Sophie Russian being chased down here by Aaliyah White. And Russian now double-teamed up against the sideline, gets the pass off to Hill, and Hill's going to take this one the other way, looking for Kroos in the middle. Kroos with it, looking to maybe dodge straight off, but nope, she's going to find Davis. Davis across to Smith in front of net. Smith looking to toe-tap the crease and score a goal, but intercepted by Olivia Scott. Another great save. That would have been a great goal for the Lakers, but got to applaud that Canton defense.
Yeah, but I think it would kind of help the Lakers just a little bit if they put some pressure on that defense, or on the goalie, because the goalie's she's walking pretty far out of the cage.
Yeah, the Lakers, certainly not what we saw in the first quarter on the clears here, but still doing a great job defensively, not allowing the Kangaroos to score. Of course, one goal in the first, one goal in the second, but Lakers doing a great job here as here's Lindsay Wonder with it, picks up the ground ball, unable to get the catch. And the ball just checked out of her stick there, but that's going to be a call on Mackenzie Wynn. Looks like Mackenzie Wynn's going to head to the sideline for another minute off the green card call.
Yeah, it seemed like more of like a harder push on her end, just extending her elbows just a bit too much.
Yeah, and the Lakers will now be a player down again for a minute, I believe. So the Lakers, without Mackenzie Wynn for the next minute, but shouldn't be too much of a struggle. We've already seen them beat one man down possession from the Canton Kangaroos, so I think they can probably do it again, but of course also brings forth some opportunity for the Kangaroos to possibly find the back of the net again.
Yeah, and the Kangaroos do better when they are up a man.
Of course, the Kangaroos kind of swinging around, looking for cutters across the middle. As you see Maddie Karen cutting across the middle there, but just not open, and we've got a stoppage here, waiting to see exactly what's going on here. The officials convening in the center of the field, so looks like something may need to be done. We've got 54 seconds left here in the first half of action between the Oswego State Lakers and the Canton Kangaroos in a SUNY Conference matchup, and the officials and players all look a little confused as to what is going on, as are Piper and I in the press box here. But a great first half so far. Of course, the Lakers, like we said many times, leading 11-2. And Piper, why don't you, I know we did it at the end of the first period, but why don't you walk us through who scored these goals for the Oswego State Lakers?
Well, we have Julia Quirk with her hat trick, that she's been doing an amazing job on this so far. And then we have Cassidy Kroos, who scored 2 goals, just like Alexis Hill. Very fast, speedy players. You can really tell them they're getting down the field. And then we have Addison Costello also with 2 goals. Oh, and it looks like they're starting again.
Yeah, things are back up in action as the Roos take a shot that goes just wide. Still a player up for the next 33 seconds. 35 on the clock here remaining in the game. A chance in the middle as that's Karen. Karen just swallowed up by that Oswego defense, but that's going to give her a free position shot. That's good defense from the Lakers, but in this game you cannot do that to that extent.
Yeah, and these free position shots have helped her out in the past of this game, so hopefully this one can help her out
Karen
too.
looking for a hat trick on this one. Shoots and scores.
And that's
completes the hat trick as Maddie Karen makes it 3 into that bottom corner, right past Yakovisi. No chance at all for the Lakers, Piper. And Karen has clearly been a force to be reckoned with out here on this field, but it's really all Canton's got going for them so far.
Yeah, I definitely do. Karen has been their top player as of right now. She's actually the Roo of the Week for the past 2 weeks at Canton.
Yeah, phenomenal. I mean, she definitely deserves it with the performance we've seen her put on all season. As there's that goal one more time for you folks into that bottom corner. But now it'll be probably the last draw here of the first half. The Lakers leading 11-3 with 29 seconds on the clock. And this one's going to be Julia Quirk on it for the Lakers, and not Maddie Karen, but instead Ava Dupuis on this one for the Canton Kangaroos. This one goes up into the air, and it's going to go towards the Lakers' offensive zone as both teams wait for it. And looks like Sydney Dunn stepped across the line on that one. I was kind of watching for it from up here, and I think I did see that foot cross. So the Lakers with one more offensive possession looking to make it 12-3 before the end of the half. Alexis Hill chasing this ball down. Wayward pass almost rolls out of bounds, but now with 10 seconds left, the Lakers are racing the clock. And that pass, or that shot, my apologies, looked more like a pass, but it looks like it just slipped out of the stick of Mackenzie Wynn. So now that will do it for the first half of play here in Oswego, New York. The Lakers leading 11-3. And Piper, let's talk a little bit about this first half. I mean, certainly not a close game, but I wouldn't say Canton's out of this one yet.
No, I definitely don't think they're out of it, especially with the halftime. They have this time to really discuss and focus on what they really need to fix. And I honestly think even if they just fix a few minor details, they really can pull themselves and bring them back here.
Absolutely, and for the Kangaroos, certainly some adjustments need to be made at halftime, but that's going to do it for our first half, so we'll see you after the break here on WTOP 10.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West 1st Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see? All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey.
There's improv.
So much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassment's free.
Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Welcome back into WTOP 10 TV. My name is Mike Neckers, coincided by Piper Kiernan, and we're here at Laker Turf Stadium, where it's currently halftime between the Oswego State Lakers and the SUNY Canton Kangaroos, and the Lakers are leading 11-3. Now, Piper, we've had a great first half, and I want to talk about some of these X-Factor players, some of these players who've dominated out there on the field so far. So kick us off with the Canton Kangaroos. Who's been their star?
Their star, obviously, Maddie Karen. She is their 3 goals, completely all on herself, all by herself, with those free position shots, really helping her make her way into the lead.
Yeah, Maddie Karen with the hat trick in the first half, but she's not the only one who's scored one, because the Lakers have a hat trick scorer of their own who also tacked on 1 assist. Julia Quirk with 3 goals and 1 assist here in the first half for the Lakers, and she's really been one of the most solidified players on this Oswego team. I mean, not just this season, but we saw it last season as well. Julia Quirk, the top goal scorer for the Lakers last season, so just a really dominant player who knows how to perform in these type of scenarios and situations, Piper.
You can definitely see Maddie, Karen and Quirk, they're both very speedy on the field. They're definitely in it to win it for their game.
Yeah, Piper, so the Lakers, I think, definitely have the energy here going into the second half, but depending on what's said over here in this Canton huddle, I mean, anything really could happen here in the second half. The Canton Kangaroos might be getting fired up over on the sideline, although with how this weather's looking and how our camera people are feeling right now, I don't necessarily think that they're having a great time out there in the cold right now.
No, but you never know. They seem to be enjoying it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to embrace and make the most of the scenario you're in. Of course, the Lakers ahead 11-3 as we hit the last minute before the game will start back up. No running clock yet. The Lakers need to get that lead to 10 to activate that running clock. And Piper, let's talk about Achilles' heels. I mean, for the Lakers, I'm going to have you start with the Lakers. How about the Kangaroos? I'll have you start with the Kangaroos. What do they need to work on? What has been their Achilles' heel?
They definitely need to work on the draw and those ground balls right out of it. You really see that the Lakers are picking it up first, and they're always going after it. They are the first step right outside of the draw.
Yeah, and I think for Oswego State, their Achilles' heel is Maddie Karen. I think she's been the only player on this field that's been able to produce against her. I think if they can find a way to shut her down in this second half, that they will smooth sail to a victory here in the second half.
I think what they were doing first was amazing when they were manning her as defense and just having one girl straight attached to her. I think if they just do that again, they can take her.
Absolutely, Piper. And lacrosse season is in full swing. Don't miss a game. Tune into our next lacrosse game this Saturday at 1 p.m. to catch the Oswego State Lakers men's lacrosse team taking on the Potsdam Bears. That should be a peach of a game. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you.
Definitely.
And the Lakers men's and women's lacrosse teams both having great starts to their season here as the women's team retakes the field against the Canton Kangaroos. And on the draw is Julia Quirk for Oswego State and Aaliyah White for the Canton Kangaroos as we are about to get underway here at Laker Turf Stadium. Lining up on this one. This one goes high and behind the Lakers. Kangaroos looking to get the ground ball, and they will come up with it. That's Aaliyah White. So the Kangaroos seem to come out with a little bit of speed here, at least on that first draw. I mean, we haven't seen them win one in quite some time, but of course come away with that one now in the second half. And they're going to try and slow things down and slowly get back up to this 11-goal margin and get themselves back into this game. The Roos send this one up. Dupuis finds Dunn. Back to Dunn. Dunn goes to the left side. Back up to Wonder. Wonder with it. Pressed high out by Sophie Russian. Russian confident in her abilities as a defender to be pressing that high and not get beat. That one goes back to Dunn. Dunn still with it. Kind of just going back and forth with Wonder. And Wonder finally dodges down the right side. A shot, and that one bounces right into the stick of Yakovisi, but does not stay in her stick. Bounces out of her stick as well. And Lakers will take this one the other way. Is coming up the field now is Sadie Zemanek. Zemanek double-teamed, loses the ball off of a great check from Maddie Karen. Who else? But the Lakers able to maintain possession as this one will go down into their offensive zone. That's Mackenzie Wynn with it. Sends it up to Kroos. Kroos up to Russian. Kroos with it. This one goes down to Hill. Hill back up to Kroos. Kroos carries to the left side. Russian with it now. Russian sends this to Hill. Hill down to X for Davis. Across the middle, a cutter is Hill, unable to get the pass. Looks to just bat it into the goal. But smart of the Kangaroos to get that ball back to Olivia Scott, who can slow down and start this clear correctly. Kangaroos carrying up the field. That's Maddie Thompson with it. Maddie Thompson loses the ball, picks up the ground ball once again, but quadruple team by the Lakers. Just flings one up the field trying to get it out of there. And Kangaroos somehow come away with that ground ball, as that's Aaliyah White with it. White finds Karen. Karen gets into that offensive zone, not thinking Russian was going to follow her, but Russian staying onside and still able to pressure her on that one. Kangaroos with it. This one goes over to Wonder. Wonder down low, finds Dupuis, cutter across the middle. That's Olivia McCormick, unable to get that one with the balls. Morgan Montgomery sends this one all the way up top for Dunn. Dunn over to Wonder. Wonder back down to the corner for McCormick. A chance now, a shot saved by Yakovisi. That's a tight one, really close to that goal. Kind of surprised we didn't see a crease violation there. It looked like someone might have stepped in, but a great save by Yakovisi regardless, and the Lakers will take this one the other way.
What a great travel up the field, too, beating these defenders and really running fast.
Yeah, the Lakers have done a great job with that all game long. Of course, as we say that, they lose the ball momentarily as Catherine Nash unable to hold on to it. But they'll scoop the ground ball right up and go to the other side of the field, see if they can get things going from over there. Mackenzie Wynn with it, headed towards X. Has Davis with her, sends it over to Davis. Cutter across the middle, a shot, and another goal for the Lakers. That's Alexis Hill just tacking on goal after goal for Oswego State. She's had a great season so far and just keeps getting better for her and for the Oswego State Lakers as a whole.
I think that's Hill's hat trick.
Well, is it? Look at that. Alexis Hill makes it 3 for herself as well. So, of course, we mentioned Julia Quirk and Maddie Karen, both with hat tricks in this game. Add Alexis Hill to that list. She said, I want my turn, and she took it, Piper.
And I must say, that cut across, even the defender just being just a head stick away from her, let her get it into it, and she was able just to complete it just not like that.
Sometimes in a game like lacrosse, that's all you need is a little bit of space. Here's that goal one more time. I mean, we mentioned in the first half, those cuts have been lethal against Canton. I mean, they're scoring almost every opportunity they get with those, as you see it here one more time. But here's the draw for the Lakers. Quirk almost takes that one, unable to catch it. Of course, with this rain coming down so hard now, I'm sure it's a bit of a struggle to even see where you're running. But the Lakers keep this one in. And they'll send this one down to the corner. Finds Davis. Davis, Hill trying to cut, unable to get there. Davis still with it. Eventually finds Kroos up top. Kroos unable to catch the ball. These slippery conditions, of course, making it hard to really handle anything out here. Smith sends it down to the corner. Wynn with it. Wynn up top. Still with it is Russian. Russian sends it down to Hill on the near side. Hill dodges to that left hand that she loves to use so much. Unable to get through. Davis cutting across the middle. Looked to have some space, but the pass could not get through there. Lakers still with it. Here's Noelle Smith. Smith over to Hill. Hill with a chance. Fakes the shot. Dodges left. Shoots. Bottom left corner. Makes it 13-3. And Piper, that's going to activate this running clock that I mentioned earlier. Lakers now with a 10-goal lead.
Yeah, which will be nice for all the players in this condition, not wanting to be out there really in the cold. And just like that, Hill, now top leading scorer with 4 goals in the game.
Yeah, Alexis Hill turned things around here for the Lakers. Of course, only 2 goals in the first half. Not something to complain about, obviously. 2 goals is great. But 2 this quickly in the second half, as we're going to take another timeout. I think this one called again by the Canton Kangaroos. As here's a replay of that goal one more time for you folks at home. I mean, just beautifully taken. Right past the stick of Olivia Scott and into that bottom right corner. So really nothing they could do about it there. And folks, WTOP 10 Nightly News is a newscast for students by students. It's the best place to stay up to date on the news, weather, and sports that matter to you most. Tune in Monday through Thursdays at 9 p.m. on WTOP 10. I mean, Piper, the folks at home could tune in tonight if they'd like to at 9 p.m. We'll be live.
We will.
And WTOP 10 Nightly News is a great thing to tune into, especially if you're an Oswego student or an Oswego local. We've got news for you. We've got international news. We've got local and national sports news. So really anything for you folks at home. And it's going to be a great night of news as always. But let's get back to this game, Piper. I mean, these conditions just seem to be getting worse every time I look out this window. It is coming down pretty hard out here. Some rain. Our camera operators look miserable, but hey, they're thugging it out there, and we love them for it. It's been a great game here so far, 13-3 in favor of Oswego, and of course the timeout stopping this clock, but this clock will run until the game is over now with that 10-goal lead for Oswego State.
Yeah, and I will say another person who's doing great on the field is Davis. She has 4 assists so far, which is really helping out all her teammates to score these goals.
Yeah, and Madison Davis, number 2 in assists for the Lakers on this season, Piper, behind only Mackenzie Wynn, who's had a quieter afternoon than we'd normally see out of her. I mean, of course, still contributing to this team very much, but not as much as we've seen in the past few games.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay to have some off games,
Yeah,
but
of
slow
course.
it down. Don't always have to take it.
Well, it's going to be Julia Quirk again facing off against Aaliyah White for the draw here, as it looks nice and chilly out here. Lucas McGarry is waving to us. Looks like he's pretty cold. Parker looks pretty cold, and Jesse Kushner also looks pretty cold. So we are going to head back to the game now, as this draw is between Julia Quirk and Aaliyah White. Goes over towards the Lakers' defensive end. And Lakers unable to come up with this one, so it's going to be a Kangaroos ball, and they waste no time, as that's, again, Maddie Karen bringing this one in. With it now is Lindsay Wonder. A whistle stops play for a second. Quirk beat by Wonder on this one, but the Lakers recover quickly and are able to stop things. Here's a chance for a shot. Pass to, and a shot, but saved by Yakovisi. Yakovisi with another save. This time Maddie Karen takes the shot. Goes towards that top corner, but stick side makes it pretty easy for Yakovisi there.
Yeah, and that was great because it was a little bit chaotic in the middle of who was really going to shoot, and that quick pass really could have helped.
I mean, Piper, it confused me a little bit. I almost said the wrong name there, but luckily able to get the right one. So the Lakers now coming down the other way with a chance. Here's Mackenzie Wynn over to Madison Davis. Cutter is Alexis Hill. Alexis Hill with a shot to make it 5, but unable to get that one off as it's checked out of her stick by Sydney Dunn. Great defensive effort there. Now the Kangaroos with it once again. Roos past 2 defenders here, past Madison Davis, and a whistle's going to stop play here momentarily.
I will say, you do see the Roos picking up their gameplay a lot more in this half.
And the Roos with it now. Up the left side is Molly Sweeney. Cuts up to the middle, past 4 defenders. Make it 5. Sweeney still with it. That one goes to the stick of Dupuis. Up top to Sydney Dunn. Sydney Dunn still holding on to the ball here. Dunn sends that one down to the corner. Still with it is Dunn. Dunn dodges to the right side past the first defender. Gets the pass off a shot. That one bounces right past the net. Nothing on the net here, and the Lakers taking this one the other way now. Or at least trying to, but unable to get the GB. So this one's going to stay with Canton. We've got a Canton Kangaroo down on the field. Hops right back up, though. Ava Dupuis, that is. And here's Karen again, looking for her 4th goal. Defended very well by Alexis Hill. I mean, what a battle these two are having out here on the field as the Lakers send this one the other way, Piper.
Yeah, the battle is definitely going to help, and especially that the Roos were able to keep their foot in it.
Yep, foot on the gas here for the Kangaroos, but the Lakers with another offensive possession. Chance to improve that lead to 11, as here's Cassidy Kroos on the ball now. Kroos still with it. Sends it over to Noelle Smith. Noelle Smith down to Mackenzie Wynn. Back up top to Smith. There's Costello over to Kroos. Down to Madison Davis. Davis falls, holds onto the ball. Looks like maybe she took a check to the face, but nothing got called. And the Lakers setting up for a play here. A chance. Pass is dropped. The Roos are going to try and take this the other way, but the ground ball slips right out the stick of Molly Sweeney. So now it's Julia Quirk behind the goal. Not somewhere we see her too often for Oswego State, but the Lakers are going to get a free possession starting up behind the goal. And Quirk, arguably looking for cutters here, decides to go for the pass to Mackenzie Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn loses it. Sends it up top to Cassidy Kroos. Kroos still with it. This one goes down to Davis. Davis up top to Kroos once again. And the Lakers now at X. Here's Mackenzie Wynn looking for a cutter. Finds Kroos. Kroos shoots. Saved there by Olivia Scott. A great save. And the Kangaroos are going to take this one the other way, but it falls out of the stick of Scott almost immediately, batted down by the Lakers. They'll maintain possession, however. And now Mackenzie Wynn, my goodness, Sydney Dunn carrying up the field here. Kangaroos get this up the middle and find White. White's still with it. White sends this one over to the corner. This one will come back up top for Lindsay Wonder. Wonder holding on to it as her team gets set for another offensive possession. The Lakers ahead by a score of 13-3. With 5 minutes left here in the third period. This one's going to go down to the corner. And the Lakers are going to take this one the other way. As coming up the field now is Sophie Russian. Russian, who's had a dominant performance, continues this, keeps it up, and carries this one all the way up the right side. Russian sends this one across. It's going to come over to the bottom corner for Mackenzie Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn holding on to it.
Sometimes the possession is what really matters. Just being able to keep it in your possession can help you out in the long run.
I absolutely agree with you, Piper. I think this possession that the Lakers, it was one of my keys here, but possibly a shot. One of my keys early in the game was for the Lakers to possess the ball, because we've seen it all season long in these games where they've really dominated their opponents. When they possess the ball, they can do just about anything.
Yeah, and they're really taking smart shots when they have the opportunity.
Yeah, and there's another smart shot. Of course, that one just a little wide for the Lakers. So that was Cassidy Kroos trying to net that one. And a mistake here from the Kangaroos. Looks like they tried to roll the ball to Olivia Scott from behind the net, but just slipped out of her stick and right into the stick of Sophie Russian, who's unable to get the shot off, but will get possession back for the Lakers. And the Lakers, Mackenzie Wynn sends it across the middle. Pass is dropped, but the second pass is not dropped. Here's Russian. Russian with it. Finds Davis in the back corner. Across the middle. A chance. A shot falling as she shoots, and it's saved. But I think the Lakers are going to get a free position shot out of this one, and it's going to be Noelle Smith.
Definitely was getting a free position shot after that one.
I mean, just clobbered in front of the net. Not what you want to see, but Smith, a trooper, able to hop right back up.
And a nice middle.
Lakers now with a chance. A shot, and that one again saved by Olivia Scott, as there's now 3 minutes remaining here in the third period, and the Kangaroos are trying to take this one the other way, but again, just unable to handle these slippery conditions, Piper, as it's going to go back into the stick of Sophie Russian one more time. Lakers still with this one as Mackenzie Wynn carries it down the left side. Wynn looking for Davis across the back of the net. Unable to find her, but sends it up to Smith. Smith over to Costello. Costello holding it. Finds Hill, Alexis Hill. Back up top to Russian. Russian looks for Cassidy Kroos, not there, decides to stay with this one. That one goes down to Alexis Hill. Alexis Hill across the middle. Cutter is Mackenzie Wynn, but unable to come down with that pass. So now we've got a loose ball. Lakers come up with it. Here's Costello, loses it. And Alexis Hill battling for it, but Costello with a bit of a break there as a foul is called, so the Lakers will maintain possession on this one. Here's Madison Davis with it. Davis slips again. We've already seen that happen once, but now a second time. Holds on to the ball, though. Sends it up top to Russian, who finds Smith on the other side. A shot here for the Lakers. Kroos loses it before the shot comes off, but what a pass from Mackenzie Wynn. That's what she's done so well all season, to get those 28 assists on the year so far. So if she keeps that up, it's really been phenomenal, but another chance here for the Lakers as Cassidy Kroos will line up for a free possession shot. Kroos just awaiting that whistle. Here it is. She rips it sidearm, goes behind to Davis. Davis puts it over the net off a shot. Lakers will maintain possession here as Mackenzie Wynn had the backup, Piper.
Yeah, having that chase is very important in games like this.
Yeah, now 4 or 5 cutters coming across the goal. Surely one of them will catch it, but not this time. That pass was intended for Sophie Russian, who was unable to get it, and that shot clock has now run out, so it'll be a Canton Kangaroos ball. Cassidy Croce tries to ride this clear. And now a chance for the Roos, a dangerous mistake there from the Lakers. Roos coming across the middle, but Olivia McCormick loses it. Another chance, a shot, and this one went in. A goal for the Canton Kangaroos, I believe here, Piper.
I believe so, too. It's very nice what happened with the Kangaroos. The 8 wasn't really clobbered up. It was just really her defender, and the goalie, and she was able to put it behind the net.
Yeah, and a mistake defensively from Elena Vasilo, just unable to get that ground ball, rolls right past her stick, right through her legs, and into the stick of Olivia McCormick, who also lost the ball for a second, but was able to pick up the ground ball and bring it across the middle. And we'll have to wait and see who the goal scorer is. I believe it was McCormick, Piper.
Yes, it was.
So Olivia McCormick netting a goal here for the Canton Kangaroos with 47 seconds left here in the third period, making it 13-4 and deactivating that running clock we had. So the Lakers now waiting for the whistle to start this next draw. And here's the replay of that goal one more time. A confusing goal, but a good goal nonetheless. McCormick just somehow battles through and finds the back of the net past the shoulder of Yakovisi.
And a green card was called.
Not sure exactly why, but we just saw another green card get called on the Canton Kangaroos while the play was dead. So not sure exactly what's going on out here, but that's the second time we've seen that happen, Piper. So my guess, of course, is poor sportsmanship, language that we should not be using on the field, but of course, you never know what's going on the field unless you're down there. So here's Madison Davis with it, sends this one across to Wynn. Wynn finds a cutter, looks for a cutter at least, unable to get there is Noelle Smith, but Alexis Hill picks that one right up. And now the Lakers with 15 seconds left, trying to make it 14-4 here for the start of the fourth period. But the Kangaroos say no thank you. Pick up the ground ball and bring this one all the way around the X, looking to just run out this clock. 1 second left, and that will do it for our third period of play. Are you looking for hilarious skits, challenges, and discussions? Look no further than Entertainment Breach. Tune in every other Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. on WTOP 10. Another great show on WTOP 10, Piper.
Yeah, it is such a great show, and actually, tonight after news, we have Shut the Chuck Up.
Another phenomenal show on WTOP 10. Piper and I are both on the crew for that show, I believe, so it's always a blast. Very excited for that one. But it's been an interesting third period here, Piper. The Lakers certainly slowed down their scoring a little bit, but still with a huge lead over the Canton Kangaroos.
Yeah, they definitely did slow down their scoring, but still on the field they are picking up their speed. And you really see it with Alexis Hill. She has not slowed down. She keeps going at full intensity out there.
Yeah, I mean, Alexis Hill, just a dominant player all season, and there's a reason she's the Lakers' leading goal scorer, because she works for it. She battles out there on the field every single week, game in, game out, and it pays off. It shows on the field for all the fans at home.
Yeah, it definitely does. And also, Maddie Karen, she is not giving up. She's still playing as hard as she can for her team. And you really wonder what's going through her head, being 3 out of the 4 goals going on right now for the Kangaroos.
Yeah, Karen doing a great job, and the Kangaroos finally able to involve someone else in their goal scoring. It's great to see Olivia McCormick get on the goal sheet, a first-year student at Canton, so someone who maybe isn't on the goal sheet as often as some of the other players on this team, so it's just great to see other players really getting involved and growing as players on the field.
Yeah, and I think it would help with one of your keys for Oswego is sharing the love, but I think it could help the Kangaroos to share the love a little bit more on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, relying on Karen certainly isn't a bad thing, but there's got to be a point where you have to rely on someone else who's not Maddie Karen, because all props to her. She's a phenomenal player, but she can only do so much for this team. And I think you realistically could argue the same thing about players like Alexis Hill and Julia Quirk.
Yeah, but the love is being shared. We have a ton of goal scorers up there, and especially with Davis as such a great assister.
Absolutely. And now it's going to be Cassidy Croce, and not Cassidy Croce, my goodness, Julia Quirk and Lindsay Wonder on the draw. Of course, Wonder struggled in the first period to win any draws against Julia Quirk, so we'll see how this plays out, but things will hopefully speed up for the Canton Kangaroos here in this final period of play, and maybe they'll add on a couple more goals. And Wonder, of course, maybe another announcer's jinx, able to get this one and carry it down the field. Wonder pressured here by Russian, but unable to get there. Wonder still with it. Just holding it up top, looking for a teammate. Sends that one over to Jaden Awan. Awan still with it. Dodges, fakes. Sends this one across. Over to Lindsey Wonder. Wonder finds Shelby Goke. This one goes down to that corner. Lakers come up with the ground ball and will take it the other way. And a aggressive hit there from the Kangaroos. But look at this speed, Piper.
She's passing all those defenders out there.
Yep. The Lakers doing a phenomenal job on all of these clears. That's, again, Aubriana Green just using that speed to her advantage as the Lakers bring this one down into the corner. Madison Davis keeps that one in. The pass goes a little wide, but she's able to hold onto it and keep her feet in bounds. Here's a cutter. Pass goes a little too far in front of Alexis Hill. And the Kangaroos will pick this one up and look to take it the other way. Lakers not letting them out that easy, though, as it's going to roll all the way back to Olivia Scott for the clear for the Kangaroos. Again, just these loose ball battles between these two teams, and the Kangaroos finally come out with this one. It's coming down the field is Megan Montgomery. Montgomery still carrying. Finally caught up to by Catherine Nash, and Montgomery swings it down low. A cutter across the middle. Caught for the Kangaroos by Jaden Awan. Awan triple teamed in front of the net. And Kangaroos lose it. Lakers now coming the other way as Cassidy Croce with the ball. I don't think she's going to pass this one, Piper. Finally does. And now a chance for Alexis Hill, who's unable to come out with that pass. And Kangaroos coming up the other side now. Again, lose the ball. This rain is really affecting the ability to catch and throw the ball here on the field today, Piper.
Yeah, we definitely see that on both teams, too.
Yeah, and now the Lakers with it behind goal. Mackenzie Wynn has it. Sends this one up to Noelle Smith. Smith up top. Finds Croce. Croce over to Russian. Russian looks across the field, looks for Hill, and again, Hill unable to catch the ball.
It does seem like they're manning defense a little bit more on Julia Quirk.
Yeah, trying to shut down that Oswego goal scorer who had a hat trick in the first half and been pretty quiet here in the second half, so I guess they're doing a good job with that. But of course that opens things up for Alexis Hill, who now has 4 goals on the afternoon. But here comes Cassidy Croce for Oswego. Croce again loses the ball. Davis picks it back up. Davis with it now. Up top. Sends this one to Smith. Smith down to Wynn. Wynn down to the corner. Russian, a shot between the legs and into the goal. Sophie Russian past Olivia Scott makes it 14-4 and once again starts up that running clock.
Yeah, and with that, they left her all by herself and kind of alone down there, which is pretty not that good of a mistake to be making.
Yeah, Piper, and a great goal from Russian. Here it is again. Really looks like the Lakers drew a couple of slides and kind of opened up that bottom space for Sophie Russian to cut and rip that underhand shot into the back of the net. Now the Lakers leading 14-4 with 11:10 and counting left here in the fourth period of play, the final period of play. So the Lakers leading 14-4. And do you love Lakers sports? Want to hear more analysis on all Oswego State teams? Tune into Laker Connections with Kenny Gerard and Lucas McGarry Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. only on WTOP 10. Well, Piper, back from the promo, and here's the next draw. It's going to be Julia Quirk once again for the Lakers, and again Aaliyah White for the Canton Kangaroos. And that one goes a little too high there, so it's going to be an Oswego ball. Come to the field with it is, you guessed it, Sophie Russian. She takes all of these clears and just runs with them, Piper.
Another green card.
Yeah, this one on Morgan Montgomery. Looks like that one's for an illegal check, so Lakers going to be a player up for the next minute on the field out here. Be interesting to see if they can capitalize on this opportunity with 10:30 left on the clock. Down to Noelle Smith in the corner. Smith sends it down low to Wynn. Wynn over to Davis. Davis with it at X. Back to Wynn. Up to Smith. Smith unable to catch that ball, but will scoop up the ground ball and try again here. This one goes to the far side. Alexis Hill with it now, looking for her 5th goal. And again, Alexis Hill loses the ball. Lakers able to get the ground ball again as there's Davis, finds Smith. Smith pass one, finds the pass, or looks for the pass for Kroos, unable to get it off though, too slippery out there, and looks like someone's stick just broke.
Nope, I think those are goggles.
My apologies. Looks like a pair of goggles. Someone's goggles went flying off, Piper. So it looks like it's going to be a free position shot for the Oswego State Lakers here. And a bit of confusion here on the field. And my apologies, I think it's going to be a clear for the Canton Kangaroos. Looks like maybe the players are still a little confused too. 9:49 here on the clock. And yep, a clear for Canton. This one goes over to the far side for Kennedy Garrow. This one goes over to the Kangaroos' offensive end of the field as dodging up the middle is Maddie Karen. Karen shoots, goes wide, and Yakovisi with the backup. Great hustle from Yakovisi. Keeps the ball in the Lakers' possession. And another beautifully taken shot from Maddie Karen.
Yeah, it definitely was. Too bad it just came a little bit short of going into the goal.
Yeah, and Karen unable to get that one, so Lakers taking it the other way. And who else but Aubriana Green using her speed to get up the field on this one. Aubriana Green, of course, fouled on that play, but she'll get to try one more time. Looks for the pass and sends this one over to Sadie Zemanek. Zemanek loses it. Kangaroos coming the other way, but a foul called this time on Lindsay Wonder. Kangaroos looking to get a little bit frustrated here, Piper.
Yeah, they definitely are, but they are. Someone on the Lakers has to be open for her to pass, since two are on one of her right now.
And again, the ball just goes flying out of Zemanek's stick, who's hit real hard there, able to get back up. And we've seen some collisions. We've seen a lot of slipping and sliding out here today, Piper, and these weather conditions are less than ideal.
Definitely less than ideal.
But the Lakers will try to clear this one more time. Julia Quirk's going to start with it this time. Quirk runs past one, runs past two, runs past three Canton defenders, gets things into the Lakers' offensive zone. Sends this one over to Mackenzie Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn carries this one down to X, finds Madison Davis. Davis at X with it. Davis still holding on to this one. Finds a cutter in Cassidy Kroos. Kroos unable to come away with the catch. And now the Kangaroos coming the other way with just under 8 minutes left here in the final period of play. And Kangaroos make a man miss as that's Morgan Montgomery on the ball. Montgomery finds Karen. This one goes back over to Wonder. Wonder and Karen playing a little catch up top. And this one's going over to the left side. Lakers are going to pick this one up and bring it the other way as that's Catherine Nash on it, who just keeps on running up the field. Catherine Nash with plenty of space to work with. Now a 5-on-5 for Oswego State with a player from each team trailing. And we've got a timeout called by the Lakers. So 14-4, 7-11 left here in the fourth quarter, Piper. And just a dominant performance from the Lakers thus far.
Yeah, definitely such a dominant performance, but it really seemed like they just needed to slow down and kind of calm down just a little bit right now to kind of get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, Piper, and with 7 minutes left, of course you never want to say never, but I think the chances of Canton bringing themselves back into this game are pretty much gone with the wind. But what can they do to sort of build back up and make this a little bit of a closer game here in these last few minutes?
I feel like they definitely are building back up. I just think that once the transitioning is happening into the midfield is kind of where they're losing the game here a little bit.
Yeah, I think not defensively, in the midfield area, the Lakers have done a much better job winning those 50-50 balls, pressuring Canton and not letting them get the ball into Oswego's defensive zone. So I think they've just done a great job with that so far.
Yeah, they definitely have, but you never know. Something could happen.
Absolutely. With 7 minutes and 11 seconds left, there's still plenty of time for some more goals to be scored. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple more from Maddie Karen here.
Yeah, I definitely think she can score quite a few more here, but they could share the love on the team.
Well, Piper, why don't you do me a quick favor? Pull up those scores again from around the SUNYAC, and we'll take one more look. So first off, we got Potsdam at New Paltz. How's that one going?
New Paltz is crushing Potsdam 18-6 right now, with only 14 minutes left in their fourth quarter.
Not much of a game over there. And how about down in Oneonta with the Cortland Red Dragons and the Oneonta Red Dragons?
Cortland is crushing Oneonta 16-5. Around 7 minutes left.
Piper, are these games all going to be blowouts?
Looks like it. Buffalo State is beating Morrisville at halftime 16-0.
Oh my goodness, Piper. That is a rough day for SUNYAC women's lacrosse for those losing teams, but a great day for the winning teams. And of course, the Lakers leading here 14-4. Fredonia taking on Hilbert College tonight at 7 p.m. So that game's still waiting to start. But the Lakers pressuring high once again on the Kangaroos, as they'll finally come away with this one, as that's Kylie Fritton with the ground ball. Lakers coming up the left side. Here's Madison Davis with the ball. Davis going to bring this one all the way back to X, then swing it up to Mackenzie Wynn. Mackenzie Wynn finds Abigail Moran to Quirk. This one goes over to Kroos. Down low to Davis, back to Wynn. Up to Fritton. Fritton finds Moran. Sophie Russian with it now. And Julia Quirk looking to dodge down that right side. Will get past the first defender. Looks for a pass across the middle. Nothing there. But now a chance, a shot, and she scores! That's Mackenzie Wynn finally finding the back of the net today. Had a quiet afternoon, but makes it 15-4, extending that Oswego lead to 11.
Yeah, it has to be exciting for her, and they really are doing your key to the game, sharing the love, all these different kind of people scoring today.
Yeah, Piper, here's that goal one more time. I mean, just a great cut and puts it right into that bottom corner. But you talk about sharing the love, they absolutely have, and we're seeing some new faces come out onto the field now. Kylie Fritton and Abigail Moran, players we haven't seen yet on the field, and now they're getting their opportunity to shine, as well as Julia Gorecki now taking the field for Oswego State. So plenty of players out here that we don't see too often getting opportunities to score goals and to make some things happen.
Yeah, seems like a good day for them.
Yeah, and the Canton Kangaroos now down 15-4, Piper. All right, looking for news on celebrities, awards, and other gossip? Entertainment News is just the show for you. Tune in at 10:30 p.m. Tuesdays on WTOP 10 for all of the tea. Well, the Lakers back on the offensive here. Looks like Sophie Russian's going to scoop up this ground ball. No problem. Coming up the near side. Going to swing the ball over to Kylie Fritton once again. Fritton still with it. Fritton dodges to her right. Holds on. Loses it for a second. Keeps it back in her stick. Cassidy Kroos with it. This one goes over to Alexis Hill. Hill loses it once again. Picks it right back up. Swings it down to Madison Davis. Davis across the back to Wynn. Back to Fritton. Fritton finds Rushin. This one goes across the middle. Down to Hill again. Davis. Davis dodges past one, looking for a cutter. Takes a shot instead. Saved pretty easily by Olivia Scott, but a good opportunity for Madison Davis to put a shot on net. Lakers now on the defensive as the Canton Kangaroos are running down the field, just crossing midfield, trying to get another offensive possession with just under 4 minutes remaining here. And a chance here now for the Roos across the middle. A shot. Nope, fakes a shot and comes right back out. Is that Sienna Halicki? Halicki finds Dunn. Dunn still with it up top. Sends it back to Halicki. Back to Dunn. This one goes over to Wonder. Wonder sends it down to the corner for DePee. Cutter from X, unable to make the catch, is Maddie Karen. Something a little uncharacteristic of her, but again, with this weather, you never really know what's going to happen out here. 3 minutes remaining now in the fourth period of play. The final period of play is up the field come the Lakers. This one makes its way up to Mackenzie Wynn. Wynn still with it. Fritton running alongside her. And this one goes down to X for Madison Davis. Davis still with it, sends this one up to Kroos. Kroos over to Hill. Hill finds Quirk. And the Lakers just swinging the ball around, trying to chew out as much of this shot clock as possible and trying to end this game victorious. So the Lakers now up top. Julia Quirk again unable to make that first catch and pressured pretty heavily here by Sienna Halicki, but they'll get it back into that offensive zone and she'll be good as new. And now a cross check called, so Lakers going to take possession here. This one goes over to Fritton. Up top to Russian, who swings to Quirk. Quirk with a chance to dodge. The Lakers clear that right side for her. She loses the ball. We've got another stoppage of play here. And it's going to be another shooting space call here, Piper, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Julia Quirk from pretty far out, so maybe a shot's in the works here, but I'm not too sure. And looks like she's going for it. That one goes just wide, but great backup from Mackenzie Wynn. Officials say she was not there in time. From where I'm standing, it kind of looked like she was, but hey, all the credit to Maddie Thompson, who beat her to the ball on that one. So Olivia Scott now with it in net for the Canton Kangaroos. 1:30 left here in the game. 75 on the game clock, or the shot clock, my apologies. And here come the Roos coming up the right side, looking to find one more goal before this game is over and make it a 10-point game instead of 11. But the Lakers just battling on these loose balls, winning the 50-50s. Of course, losing this one as the Roos come up the right side. But again, unable to catch the ball with it being so slippery. Sienna Halicki finally gets the ball. This one looking across the middle. Finds the pass. That one not caught, though, by the Roos. Kept in play by Sydney Dunn, but it gives the Lakers a chance for the GB. And looks like it's going to stay with Canton. Nope, my apologies. Go back to the Lakers. And now with 50 seconds left and counting, this game is all but over for the Oswego State Lakers and the Canton Kangaroos. As Yakovisi is going to send this over to the right side for Julia Gorecki. Gorecki sends it up the side to Kroos. Kroos finds Hill. Hill may be looking to tack on one more goal, make it 16-4. Sends it down to the corner. A chance now, a shot, and a just wide of the goal, as that's Kylie Fritton unable to find the back of the net, but a beautiful opportunity for the Lakers. Fritton would have been her first goal as an Oswego State Laker. And now here's Wynn with it, down to Fritton. Fritton looks to dodge, unable to get through, but will keep going anyways and hit in the head on this one. And that's going to do it here, folks, as the clock is now running out. So the Lakers walk away victorious by a score of 15-4. A dominant victory for Oswego State, Piper.
Definitely a dominant victory, winning 11 against SUNY Canton.
Yeah, Piper, a great game from both teams. And for Canton, it's going to be back to the drawing board as they've still got quite a few games left in their season. So what do you think that they can do for the rest of their game to, for the rest of the season to, pick things up and fix things for the postseason?
Well, we saw after halftime, they really picked up these ground balls, and ground balls really do win games. And I think as long as they really keep on getting those ground balls, but doing it at the start of the game and going completely through, I think that would be very helpful.
Yeah, and both teams with solid performances, but the Lakers really just kind of dominated all throughout. I mean, in the first period, they outscored. In the second period, they outscored. In the third and fourth, again, the Lakers were able to outscore the Canton Kangaroos. Roos with just one goal each period to show for all their hard work. But the Lakers, just a great start to the season and a great way to close things out tonight, Piper. And what do you think really went right for the Oswego State Lakers tonight?
I think that their passes, towards the beginning, I feel like at the end, it kind of went down a slippery slope, but I think that is because it's pretty slippery out here and a bit too wet. It was just those passes were always on, and their speed down the field was insane.
Yeah, Piper, and I'm going to ask you this now. What went wrong for the Kangaroos?
Missing those draws in the very beginning, those ground balls on the ground. I feel like those were their main wrongs because as long as they kind of got those, they would have had a better chance at scoring higher in this game.
Yeah, I completely agree, Piper. I think the Lakers really just were the better team today. All the credit to the Kangaroos, who played a really solid game and really battled.
Yeah, they definitely did battle, and I feel like they really didn't give up towards the end.
Absolutely not, folks. Well, that'll do it here at Laker Turf Stadium. The Oswego State Lakers triumph over the Canton Kangaroos by a score of 15-4. Like we mentioned earlier, tune in this Saturday to watch the Oswego State Lakers men's lacrosse team take on the Potsdam Bears at 1 p.m. This is Mike Neckers alongside Piper Kiernan here on WTOP 10. Have a great night.